President Trump's visit to Asia and the much-anticipated meeting with Chinese regime leader Xi Jinping is Joshua Phillip, senior investigative reporter for the Epoch Times and host of Crossroads on Epoch TV. Josh, great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Paul, great to see you too. And last time we were here, I was interviewing you. You just got back from Hong Kong.
That's right.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Yeah, you were on the ground of those riots.
There you
crazy.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. What a time. Portland actually reminds me a little bit of that.
Yeah, a little bit similar, yeah.
Josh.
Just they're fighting the opposite, of course.
Just the opposite, yeah. Big trip for Trump in Asia this week. Looks like he's going to be meeting with Xi Jinping after all. What are you watching most closely?
Well, what I'm watching is this. So Xi Jinping right now is in a weakened state. Internally, the CCP is having a lot of turmoil. Their economy is going belly up. They're losing manufacturing, losing investment. Manufacturing is returning to the U.S. We have a lot of problems with China. They're threatening war against Taiwan. They're backing all the major conflicts we're embroiled in, whether it's, again, they're backing Iran, they're backing Hamas, they're backing, tied in with them through Hezbollah, they're tied in with Russia, of course, in the war against Ukraine. They're also involved in Venezuela, working with Venezuela as it tries to annex parts of Guyana as we get pulled into that conflict. And so in no way is the CCP an ally. They do the money laundering for the cartels through the Chinese banks. We know all of this, and we treat them like a normal trade partner. So my biggest concern right now is that Xi Jinping is going to go to the table, say, good job, Trump, you're amazing. Let me sign any deal you want. It'll be just like Deng Xiaoping when they did the reform and opening up. They'll sign any document and they'll violate it immediately and play nice for the next 3 years until the next leader comes in. And we'll be back at square one, exactly where we were when we first made these bad deals with the CCP.
So you think Trump does not fully understand the nature of the Chinese Communist Party?
I think he doesn't understand that they're not looking at a 2 or 3 year time frame. They're looking at a 10, 15 year, 20 year time frame. And so, what is the long game for the CCP? Well, the long game for the CCP is we live, you die. The long game for the CCP is the death of what America represents for the world, the end of the Pax Americana. The end goal of the CCP is what they call the creation of the multipolar world order and the destruction of the unipolar world order. That's a fancy way of saying overthrow the United States. That's what they talk about. They say this openly. They write it about in their documents. They call us their #1 enemy in everything they write. They've changed none of these policies. They abuse their citizens. They go against every principle of free speech and human rights that America claims to stand for, and we still do business with them. And so they'll come and they'll sign anything we want. They'll, shake your hand and smile at you and wave. They'll make the best trade deal we could possibly have, and they'll do it for the next 3 years and then change. And that's how they operate.
So if we're looking at it, China's looking at this over, say, decades or longer. United States is looking at it much shorter. What should President Trump seek to achieve on this trip?
In my opinion, Trump should look more from a conventional standpoint, that you don't look at the immediate effect, you look at the long-term effect. And so the long-term battle we have with the Chinese Communist Party is a battle of systems. Does the world follow the American model, this belief that government represents people and that government basically is there to defend God-given rights? Or do we look at the Chinese Communist Party's model of totalitarian communism, state socialism, whatever they want to call it? This idea that governments can abuse people in any way they want, and it's business as usual. Because unfortunately, in our deals with the CCP and allowing them to do everything, we don't hold them accountable for anything. We say we're going to, and we never do. Have we punished them at all, other than minor tariffs for drug trafficking and killing 100,000 Americans a year? Have we punished them at all for bad trade deals and violating just about every trade law and covering up the books and protecting their companies from being audited? Have we punished them at all when we say never again, and they're harvesting the organs of religious believers and persecuting even Christians now as we speak? Have we held them accountable in any way? And if we have not, what do we stand for as a nation? If America does not stand up and start standing for something, we're going to lose our system. We're going to lose our country. And so I think Trump needs to understand what's at stake here. This is not just, making a good deal. This is the future of the United States at war with the country that regards itself at war with us.
Do you expect Trump to tie human rights to any type of trade deal that he might sign over here?
I think he might tie in a little bit. I think Trump might talk about human rights a little bit. It's very likely they're going to raise the Taiwan issue. They're going to talk about, hey, please don't invade Taiwan. Xi Jinping says, yeah, we won't do it for the next 3 years. right? That's the best you're going to get from them. They're not going to change their policies. The best Trump is going to get, which is what has already been said, is Xi Jinping is going to say, we will not invade Taiwan while you're president. What kind of a promise is that? So they're going to screw us over in 4 years, in other words. And that's what they're saying. They're saying they're going to do it, and we let them do that. The other thing they're going to probably say is, hey, yeah, we won't tear down a Christian church maybe for the next, 2 years. And they'll do it anyway because they've never stopped. But unless you actually hold them accountable for the real spectrum of just abuses, nothing is going to change. They're playing the long game, and we're playing the short game.
How about TikTok? In Air Force One, Trump was asked if he's going to sign TikTok deal. Trump has said that TikTok helped him to win the election. We see recent reports that it seems to have promoted Zohran Mamdani in the New York elections. What's your take on the TikTok issue?
So I do think it's likely they will sign the TikTok deal. Why
you think
is that?
China will sell it?
Absolutely. You know why? Because they can influence it through corporations that control it anyways. They're talking about letting Oracle control it. Oracle helped the CCP build its surveillance systems. They sell them surveillance technology. They work with the CCP. If an American tech company takes over TikTok, they can pressure that tech company and control it anyway. It makes no difference. The problem is not just TikTok. They're talking about selling American data. Almost all major tech companies sell American data to China. It's just they sell it not to like the CCP. They sell it to major Chinese companies. And because of Chinese data laws, they get access to all of it. It's a big game. It's a big game, and nobody wants to tell people what's really going on. All these companies do it. And so unless they put the foot down and say, hey, look, no more selling our data to companies, they're going to give it to the CCP. Until they say, we're not going to let a company that works with the CCP on surveillance technology in China control a system we're concerned about surveillance with related to China. Like, what kind of logic is this? Very likely the CCP will sign that deal because it's going to make Trump look good. It's what he wants, and they know that they're going to control it one way or the other in the long term, I think, at least to an extent. Maybe not fully, but at least to an extent. And for them, what is TikTok when they can influence America through other means and basically keep all that on the table still, sign a good deal, again, give a little, lose a little, but in the long term, they're going to take all of it.
Josh, about 30 seconds. If you could see one thing come from Trump's Asia tour this week, what would it be?
Well, I do think there are people very close to Trump who very well understand the CCP. I think Marco Rubio very clearly understands the CCP. I think Scott Bennett very clearly understands the CCP. So Trump has very good people talking to him. What I do hope is that they look at a long-term deal, not a short-term solution.
What would that look like?
That would look like decoupling from the CCP.
Really?
It would.
You said it, the D word.
Which is what a lot of people are saying who understand the CCP. There's nothing else that could solve it. We need to treat them like they treat us, which is an adversary.
There you go. Joshua Phillip, Epoch Times, Crossroads. Appreciate it, Josh. Take care.
Thank you.
And still to come, we take a look at what it will mean to bring back a focus on beautiful construction of American transportation infrastructure.